Good morning, Nintenders.
Good morning.
Welcome and welcome back. It's Monday, May 4th. And while it is May 4th, it's the second day of May's theme, Living a Heart-Led Life. We have a complete working definition, which we provided last Friday. It's pretty long, so we won't review it today. You may want to go back and listen to that episode. We will be reviewing it from time to time throughout the month, but here's our summary. The heart is steady, not reactive. The heart is honest, not harsh. And the heart requires courage, not comfort. And we do have our mantra for the month, which we also introduced last Friday, and we want to keep this near our hearts throughout the month. Today I choose to live from my heart with honesty, courage, and care. Annette, how did you do with that mantra over the weekend?
I thought about it when I had to say not the hard things exactly. I wasn't in a position where I had to say a hard thing, but when I had to speak my truth, like even the simple, what do you want to watch tonight with Dawn? Normally, I would say, well, honey, what do you want to watch? And then whatever he wants to watch, I'm fine watching. But I thought to myself, actually, I need to say what I want to watch. So that was heart-led for me. I know that sounds little, but it was big.
Those moments are big and they add up more than we might think.
They do.
Think of all the years you watched action movies when you didn't really want to.
That's right. More than I would like to think about. They were too loud. I don't enjoy violence. I mean, they were not my cup of tea ever. And I was doing it because I wanted to have the connection with our family. And I also know that it's nice to have connection with our family. So it's not like we never do something that we don't want to do, but it's more, well, where's it coming from? Is it a have to or is it a want to?
So let me ask you, as a way to introduce what we're talking about today, when you were saying that you would watch the action movies that you didn't really want to watch, where was that coming from?
It was more heart-led as opposed to fear-led, which is what we wanted to talk about.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because I think about that sometimes and I feel bad, like I never wanted you to watch what you didn't want to watch, but I did want you to be included.
Right. And that's where some of this can be subtle and there's no hard, fast rules about all of this, but it's tuning into ourselves. That was part of the working definition is we have to tune in and not be reactive, but be responsible and be intentional. When we're thinking about is something heart-led versus fear-led, we wanted to talk about that right at the beginning of this theme because we do need to get the clarity. So me watching violent action movies when I would never have chosen that myself, I did choose it from a place that I want to be connected with the people that I love. So that would be heart-led. I never did it because I thought if I didn't watch it, I would be ostracized or something like that. There was none of that. I did it because I wanted to watch and be with the people that I love.
Well, even when you didn't, we missed your presence.
Every now and then I would say, this is a little much for me. I'll see you later. That speaking up from a place, I didn't shame anyone or say, how dare you ask me to watch a show like this, right? It was more, I'm choosing today, this doesn't feel heart-led. I didn't have those words at that time, but I look back now and I know where I was coming from. I wanted us, Ada, to give some examples of what fear-led living sounds like and what heart-led living sounds like so we can start understanding the difference.
In addition to what something sounds like, we also need to check in with what it feels like too.
Yes, but sometimes we don't give ourselves permission to acknowledge the feeling. So an exercise like this, just us presenting it, might help others say, I do say that. Maybe there is some fear there.
So when we're living more of a fear-led life, we may say things and we may think things such as, I need to fix this right now. There's no time to think. There's no time to wait, no time to check in. It's urgent. It has to be done right now.
It's a compulsion, and there's a lot of anxiety with that.
Oh, that's such a great point. There is so much anxiety. Another way we might be living a fear-led life, we might say or think things such as, what will they think? Like, what will they think about me? What will they think about how I look or what I'm wearing or what I sound like? All of our instincts go to, what will other people think of me? And then we shape who we are around what other people think about us.
We can extend that one where, let's say you take your partner to a work party. Oh, what will they think about my partner? Or what will they think about my kids? Or what will they think about my house? All of that is not heart-led living.
Right? Because it's pointing to the external, what's outside of us, and then that becomes the determining factor for how we're going to show up in life. Another way we could be living a fear-led life, and this one, this was so true for me. I think this was also true for you, Annette. You've done this. I've heard you say this. I think you've heard me say this too. I should just keep the peace.
I should make a big deal about this. And this is where silent agreements come in. We can have silent agreements, and they're very fear-led. A silent agreement is when we don't say what needs to be said, we don't bring up what needs to be brought up, we let things slide or go. Or the big one is we put up with somebody else's misbehavior for a very long time and we don't say anything about it. And what we've seen in married couples, there can be silent agreements around, like, we know this is a really big issue, but we just going to keep on going. We're going to keep on going to work. We're going to keep on raising the kids. We're going to keep on doing. And we don't ever take the time, because it's scary. That's why this is fear-led, because it's scary to say, we need to look at this. We need to hash this out, or we need to get some support so that we don't have to come from this place. But silent agreements are pretty much, I was going to use the word deadly for the relationship, and maybe that would be overstating it, so I don't want to say that. But I would say they don't lead to happiness.
No, they don't.
They don't lead to connection or contentment, because nothing changes. There's a silent agreement around it.
What's so strange about that to me as I look back on my life and as I think about these topics more and more, the silent agreements, this thought, I should just keep the peace. I never get why we start to think like that, because there's no peace, actually. We let misbehavior go and we think, well, if I bring this up or I shine the spotlight on it and I say I don't like this, that's going to cause more of a ruckus, so I shouldn't say anything. But then the misbehavior goes and goes and goes and goes, and there's no peace for a lot longer than if we just said, I don't like this.
Right. And then our last point, I think, for today is that we'll share that when we're coming from this fear-led place, tomorrow we'll look at what more heart-led sounds like. But when we're coming from this fear-led place, we will be reactive, we can be defensive, and we'll over-explain. We think to ourselves we have to justify a very healthy boundary. Well, we can't do it because we think, well, if I set that boundary, or we try to do it and we just keep talking and telling why it's so important and why we're justifying it. We don't have to justify. We can share. We can have relationships where we are seen, heard, and known. So, of course, there's going to be some communication around it. But the fear-led is when we feel like we have to over-explain and justify. So I think that's enough for today, and we'll take up with what heart-led living sounds like tomorrow.
So for today, our intention is a curiosity question. Do any of these examples of fear-led living resonate with me? Do any of these examples of fear-led living resonate with me? Thank you so much for joining us today. Our day is better because you are part of our day. See you tomorrow.
See you then.